And you know, and then the optician said, he said, look, we do have a cheaper version. If you don't want to buy the expensive glasses, he said, go and have a look at our cheap range of glasses. So that's what I did, and I've got these. Oh, hang on, we're live. Hang on, hello everybody. I'm here. I've just tried my new glasses on. Fox has got his jacket on. I'll take them off.
Wow, all the hotness.
Oh, hang on. I get a feedback.
God.
Right.
Things I do for a joke, Ted. I've lost £3 just doing that.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a very hot live stream from eModels, emodels.co.uk. Myself here, Ted, and also down there, sweating like the proverbial in his workshop, is that man himself, Fox Wolf. Good evening, Fox. How are you?
I'm stinky. I'm very, very stinky. It's really warm. Now I need to ask the chat a favour. I have approximately 400 fans in this room in various tactical places, but they're all really loud. So if you can hear them, tell me and I'll turn them off. And I will die, but I'll do that for you guys. If you can't hear them, I'll leave them on and not die so much. So how are you, Tedward?
Fine. It's been one hectic week. Everything's gone wrong at this end.
Yeah, which end? No, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
My Pinnacle Studio video editor crashed. I've made a video. I've made a video for you all. I remember how I was saying I was going to make some information type videos. I started one on weathering, got it all made, come to edit it, and my video edit crashed. So all panic stations. With a very good help from TK, we've managed to get it back up and running.
Thanks, TK. I'm just checking with the chat. Some people have said it's a bit quiet, but I don't know if they mean my fans are inaudible. Okay, no, it says we sound good. Yes.
Yeah.
People answering my question about the fans. If you can't hear my fans, yes, there's a God.
I'm just trying to get the chat up myself. I can't find it at the moment.
Well, I shall whiz through who's in while you're doing that. Do the rounds. We have Matthew Burkles, Phil Davis, Chris Williams, Sergeant Bones, Alex Kutal. Hello, everybody. Beyond Hope, Alan Kelly, Sergeant Bones again. Beyond Hope, desk fan on full all day, oscillating floor fan on, 2 bottles of Mountain Dew, and I'm still dripping like a squeeze sponge. Yeah. James Backham, Simon D, Mr. Loath. Hi, Mr. Loath. Model making guru, don't know who that is. Northwest Modeler, hello. Chris Williams, David Barker, Mark Scale Models, Nate Bliss, hi. We have Chris Henderson, Scaly Models, Mike Mountain, hey Mike. Rustin Customs is in, cool. Chris Tarvin, David Barker, I think I'm duplicating now, Andy B67, Wattington as ever. Who else have we got? Paul Stewart, Matthew Drake, Ted still pushing for time.
No, I think I've got it sorted. I think I've got the chat up down in my steam-powered laptop.
Now get this right. We've been doing this for months and months and months, and I've only just figured out how to get the chat up before we go live. Hardcore profesh. What can I say?
Yeah.
So hi to everybody that's in the chat right at this moment, because there'll be more.
Yeah.
Ted, it is 1 billion degrees. It's been absolutely beautiful these last few days, but I've got to tell you, I've got nothing done the last few days. I can't. I sit in this room, and if I have all the fans on, I can say, surf the web and stuff just about. But if I turn the fans off to do some recording and have all the lights on, it's a nightmare.
It's been like that. I'm even here in my shorts today. A bit of work in the shorts. Not many jobs, unless you're a postman, that you can go to work in your shorts.
So you're not even wearing your jacket.
No,
you normally have yours on because it's not too bad in your shed.
The jacket, yeah. We must tell the people that we have had written permission from Pete. We had to send forms. Here are the forms.
Yes.
We had to send them in triplicate.
I had to give a sample and everything. It wasn't personal.
Yeah, to Pete there, and ask for permission to leave the jackets off tonight.
Yes.
And the confirmation has only just come through just before we started the live stream. So
yeah, I mean, see, Ted's shed of sheds can be quite cool, not as bad as this room, but this room gets so hot. For the next month or two, if it's hot and sunny, I can't wear that jacket. It's just, we'll come back in the autumn when it's cold, because then I'll be nice and toasty. Because this room gets really cold in the winter, but super hot in the summer. So
yep. Mine's a little bit like that sometimes. Yeah, it's now the time where you think, should I go in the model room or should I go out into the garden and drink beer? We all know what's going to win there.
It's not. I mean, I've kept myself busy over the last sort of few days. I did get episode 2 of the Eagle build-up before the Great Sun of 2017. So that's up on the eModels channel now, so make sure you go and watch it. But what did I do? Spent a lot of time in the garden, just chilling out, watching spiders do their spider things in the bushes. I went to my local Warhammer for the launch of the 8th edition of Warhammer. I don't know why, because I don't play it. And I thought, I'll just go in and add some raffle tickets. I'll just go in and I'll play my raffle prices if I win anything. And I still spent money.
Yeah. Mr. Lord said we should have done an outside broadcast. We could have done that, really. No, but
I don't think I've got long enough strings.
I don't know. Yeah, it's the strings, isn't it?
It's the electrical strings, Vincent.
Yeah, we could have been live on location somewhere. We could have been live on location.
Vincent also says, get out of my room, dude. Mine's exactly the same. Yeah, me, you and TK, dude, we've all got sweat boxes. So you've got the advantage, Ted. You can open your door, although you may get a plethora of chickens coming in. But
the chickens come in if I open the door. There's a pile of food down on the floor down there.
You know what? That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Getting a chicken on. What other online store has a live stream with a chicken?
Yeah, we'll try that next week.
Yeah.
We'll bring the chicken to say hello.
Get the chicken on a little box on your chair, sleeping just facing to you.
Right, what we're going to do this week? Once again, we don't know.
No idea.
We will have
a quick look through the chat.
We'll give away a T-shirt.
Not this one, because that's my Borderlands T-shirt.
Not that one. Have you washed? No, it was a different one. It was tested last week, wasn't it?
This is my Borderlands T-shirt. Because we were going to do a Borderlands live stream this week, me, Paul, and Chris, and then we realised you can't stream Borderlands, so that didn't happen.
Never
I'm
mind.
really looking forward to that. Oh,
well,
not good.
Well, right.
Smooth's in. Hey, Smooth. Yeah. Smooth says, Jings, my typing is a poop lol. Aye, right. It's no good. That was a really bad Scottish accent. I do apologise, Smooth. My dad was from Glasgow, so I only kind of half got it.
Right.
Alan says, the joys of having an air-conditioned model room.
Oh, yeah.
My fist at you, Alan.
You can turn the air conditioning off. You can open the window or shut the window on.
See, I was saying today to my mum, I'm thinking about 20 years' time when the whole global climate's gone to pot and we're all dying of whatever, I think the UK will be like the America, where everybody has air conditioning, or will be like the Mediterranean, where everybody just closes down at 12 o'clock and reopens at 3 or 4 o'clock. If it carries on, if global warming takes hand.
That's a good idea. Siesta time at lunchtime.
Yeah, that would be good. Chris Williams says, Big Odo.
Big Odo. Yeah, let's see the Odo.
Odo says hello. He doesn't really say hello because it's not real. I've just realised though, I got this from the garden centre. It's a pretend bird, and the irony of it is, it's got bird poop on it. I've just noticed. That's just really gross. I've got to wash my hands now. It's a bird with bird poop on it. So I've decided to make Odo my mascot. So Odo will feature prominently in things.
Right, we've got questions coming in. Yes, which reminds us, if you do have any questions, please type them into the chat. We
have one already, but carry on.
Yeah, as Ron has done there, if you could type question in bold, it gives us a chance that we might see it. Or type the whole question in bold. Just tap your caps lock button, type the whole question in bold, and it stands out a little bit better for us.
We do have one question. Ron Mack, hello Ron, says, question in big capital letters. So it's a serious question. I'm sweating, you can tell. What is the best way to take a lot of acrylic paint off a model?
Go for it.
That normally suggests you've bought one pre-built. You bought something off eBay that's already built in because it's nice and cheap, or you've painted it and you want to redo it. It's an old kit perhaps you've done a long time ago. Depends on the acrylic paint, and it depends on the plastic. There's a number of different ways you can do it. A reasonably gentle way is to use something like just common or garden bleach. I mean, you could try thinners, but you're using expensive thinners. Just something like common or garden bleach. Put the model it should be all right. Do a little part of it. If you can take a bit off first and test it. Try it in some bleach. That might get the paint off. If it doesn't, then what you can use, and what I've used before, which is what you use to take plating off plated parts, is oven cleaner. Now, if you're in the UK, I can recommend Oven Pride. It's quite good. It takes about 2 or 3 hours. But you put it in a big bowl, put the oven cleaner. You might need 2 or 3 packs of it because you get like a bag of it in the box. and just leave it to soak for a few hours. And after a few hours, go in with the toothbrush and just give it a good scrubbage, and that should start to get most of the paint off. What you should find is most of the paint should come off if it's acrylic, and this is with bleach or with oven cleaner. If you're in the States, I don't know if we have any American viewers, but if you are, something like Purple Power apparently is quite good. It may take the paint off. It might not necessarily take the primer off, because primers are kind of built to not be removable as easily. So it might be, if you've, say, bought something off eBay that's already built and painted and you're just going to strip it down and paint it, or if it's just an old kit perhaps, it might be that you have to go with whatever primer's on there. Get everything off, just got the primer stuck on there, give it a bit of a sand, and then you can crack on with some more primer then. But oven cleaner or bleach, there is a product called Carson's Paint Killer. I've got it over there, but I can't reach it. You can't get it in the UK. You have to get it from outside the UK, and it's basically just a can or a bottle of xylene, which will take any paint off anything. However, it is highly toxic, so that isn't recommended. But if you do get some, you can spray it on and scrub it with a toothbrush. That stuff will get any paint off, no problem. But it is xylene, and if it's got any, say, ABS plastic in there, or if it's a Gundam, it'll probably eat it alive. So yeah, but I've used oven cleaner on Gundam plastics and they're fine. So probably most kits will be fine. But if you're not sure, just get a bit of, if you can take a piece off and just test that first to make sure you don't put the whole kit in there and just dissolve into a pile of goo.
Yeah, that's a bit. Yeah, that's it. You'll see loads of stuff around the internet about using oven cleaner. People also said Dettol sometimes works.
Yes, Dettol bleach. Dettol's not bleach, is it? It's antiseptic.
Yeah, it's an antiseptic, but it must be
Dettol. In fact, yes, try Dettol first, because Dettol's a bit milder than bleach.
Yeah, I think use it on a step up. If it doesn't work, go to the next step. Go to the next step, and then keep going up until you get it, and it will come off. Yeah.
I've got another question.
Yeah, I spotted one just after that one. It's from James Charlton.
James. Oh, whenever I hear somebody called James, I have to say James.
James.
The guy who was called James, and he was from down south, and he's like, "All right, mate. James."
Sorry, James. Yeah, bear with us. He's like, he goes like that at times.
He used to insist on being called James and not James. James. Carry on.
So James, being serious now, James asks, when I did the 116 ATV build, what colour did I use on the machine gun? His is going well, and he's getting to that stage. To be honest, I can't actually remember, and now I haven't got it behind me. I can't go and have a look. I think I did it in gunmetal.
Was it to me gunmetal by any chance?
In fact, I'm 99% sure I did it in gunmetal. But rather than put it on with a brush, I airbrushed it on, because metallic colours go down brilliantly when they're airbrushed. And I can't remember which one it was. I have a feeling it was a Vallejo metallic. You need to watch the video. Have a look. I'll have a look later, but have a look at the video series, and hopefully I did mention it in there. Yeah. Airbrush.
Go on. I was going to say, handy tip with the Tamiya gunmetal and the airbrushing. It's very thick paint. It has a very thick flake in it. So if you've got, like me, a 0.35 airbrush or 0.3 airbrush, 0.4, obviously don't use it neat, because it'll just go boom and gunk up your airbrush. Normal Tamiya paints usually thin about 50-50 or to a skimmed milk consistency. With gunmetal, I found thin it more. Thin it a bit more than you normally would a Tamiya paint, because it's got such heavy flake in it. And what I found is, if you over thin it, so it's almost mostly thinner with some floaty bits in it, you can build up the colour in very, very thin coats. You're almost just spraying on thinner. But if you do it that way, this isn't to get a good machine gun colour, this is just a handy tip. If you do it super thin and spray it on in really, really thin coats, you can get it to a sort of almost shiny aluminium colour, really bright, silvery, shiny colour. It's weird. Gunmetal is weird to me as gunmetal. If you brush it on, it's like black with speckles in it. If you airbrush it at normal 50 to 60, maybe 70% thinner, it's just gunmetal. But if you thin it more, it's like the shiniest aluminium colour. I used to do my Gundam frames in it. It's an amazing colour. Have some fun testing out the different thinning ratios. And but depending on the brush size, if you've got a 0.3 or 0.4, you want to thin it a bit more than normal because it will gunk up your airbrush quite quickly. But it's a beautiful colour.
Yeah, yeah. Mike Martin said it was gunmetal. So
All right, cool.
I know that Mike said he's doing the
Mike knows all
as well.
things.
So yeah, if it was gunmetal, yeah, that's what it was.
I did see another question that came up. Where did it go?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find them. There's a couple of questions that came up. Was what about what brushes do you?
Oh yes,
do you clean your brushes with?
Yes, who asked that one? Where's it gone? I saw it, but I can't find it in the chat again now. Somebody somewhere in some place in the world, whoever you are. Oh, there we go. Terry Calorie. Question, Fox. How do you clean your paintbrushes? I think you've seen me use what I think is Tamiya thinner. I have here in my hand a Tamiya X20A thinner pot, the acrylic thinner. However, this is about that much Tamiya acrylic thinner. And over time, when I get to the end of a bottle of thinner, I just top it up into this. So there's like about that much Tamiya X20A. There's a big chunk of UMP's Ultimate Airbrush thinner. And there's about 50% of that is just isopropyl alcohol. And I've had that for about 3 years. It's black. It's just dark, but it doesn't matter. All I've done is basically when you get to the end of a pot of thinner, don't throw it away, just keep it. And then every time you get to an end of a pot of thinner, just top it up with the remains. And over time, you get this big pot full of thinners and all kinds of stuff, any kind of alcohols, thinners, anything like that. And all I do is I just rattle my brush through that and get it on the tissue and roll it out. Couple of goes and it will get rid of most paint. What I do tend to do though is clean the brush out in that first, and then before I put the brush away, I'll just clean it in some clean water and gently dry it out on a soft cloth. Just to the thinners can leave it a little bit dry and crispy sometimes. It's almost like washing your hair in. If you washed your hair in alcohol, it would be a bit crispy. It wouldn't be good. So I like to clean them out in that and then just rinse them off in water. And then what I'll do is if the brush has a plastic tube on the end, I'll store it brush point down in my paintbrush rack, because it's not going to squash the bristles and all the water can drain out of the brush. If it hasn't, I have to store it bristles sticking up, which is a bit of a pain. But yeah, just a mixture of thinners and leftover bits of thinner that are built up. They'll last you for years and years and years. It doesn't matter that it's gone black and horrible, because it's there just to get the paint off, so it's fine.
Yeah, I know one or two people as well recently. I think
I can hear something. Have you got some little noise going on there?
Nothing going on at this end.
Oh, never mind. Carry on.
No, I know one or two people are using brush conditioner as well. Before they put the brushes away for the night, they put the conditioner on the brushes, and it's supposed to keep them in perfect condition.
Yeah,
I'm actually using
to get some of that back.
Yeah, I keep making the same because I just haven't got around to getting it yet. That leads us on to another question. Actually, I do apologise if you have sent some questions recently on the messages to me, but my phone has been out of commission. Something happened to that as well. Everything's been crashing around here. So
was it when you updated your PC with a Windows update and your phone died as well? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Everything happened at once. I think there was something wrong with the battery. So excuse me. I give it to the daughter, and she went away and took it to her place of work and had it fixed and things like that. So I've been a little bit incommunicado for the past few days as well. But I've come back and I've found some questions, and one of the questions is on the it's on the brush theme. It's a question from Chris Williams. How many paintbrushes do we have, and how many do you regularly use? That's one of his two questions.
I can't show you mine, but I watched a program about guns last night, and all I can think of was I'm going to say gun shelf and gun rack, and I was about to say heckler and kosh. My not H and K is H and Z. HZ Hobby Zone brush thing. Every single hole in my Hobby Zone brush thing is full of brushes. So that's however many are in there. There's millions of them. Most of them I don't actually use. There's probably a select few that I will use regularly, especially a couple that Chris sent me. Or was it Paul? One of them, anyway. And people have sent me brushes, but I've got a selection of main brushes, nice ones. And then I've got scruffy brushes, which come in handy for stuff. And then there's just all the big fat brushes that I never really get around to using. But it's an entire Hobby Zone rack full of brushes.
I don't have that many brushes. I tend to clean the ones that I have and use them a lot. I don't keep them like Fox does. I have here a pot load of brushes of different types and grades and qualities. Ooh, making a noise.
And I'll roll over the floor.
I also have, I've lost the live screen picture. There we go. I also have another box of paintbrushes that once they start getting a bit past the best, they move into this. This is the scruff brushes. Always handy to keep. Don't throw your brushes away. Use them for
brushes,
weathering and things like that, and bashing them about and such. Some brushes will last an age if you look after them. Some brushes, these are cheap ones, just from the pound shop, the dollar store, but they're fine for dusting, for weathering, things like that. They're going to get beaten up, so you don't want to use your good brushes. But actually, I don't think it was quite the pound shop, but it was about that. But actually, they're not bad brushes.
I must admit, all my brushes. It's not that I've got a load of brushes and I went out and spent a load of money. It's that I've been doing this for 30 years, and until recently, I'd go through a brush a week because I was an idiot and would like dip it in the paint and be rummaging around. I didn't really know what to do with it. But I could never really throw them away because I thought there's always going to be a use for it if I need to do some spackling or some pastel weathering or something, or some powders. So I always keep the scruffy ones. So they're mostly scruffy brushes in my collection over the last 25, 30 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that I think concludes the article on brushing.
Yeah.
Brushes. So yeah, she's coming in. There are more coming in. Have you spotted some more, Fox?
Yeah, I've got one here. K4M1A Geo says, question: what is your opinion of the Dragon Imperial series armored vehicles, specifically German World War II vehicles? Thank you. Haven't got a clue. Ted, you do vehicles?
Sorry, what was that? I was reading the question.
Ted was away with the fairies. You looking at your flesh tones again, Ted? Is that what it is? Yeah, flesh tones. What is your opinion of the Dragon Imperial series armored vehicles, specifically German World War II?
Oh.
I joked a little bit. I'm aware of them, and I think they are supposed to be very good quality, but I've never actually built one, so I can't say for sure.
So no, sorry, I can honestly say I don't know.
If anybody in the chat's played with any of those, the Imperial series vehicles, do let him know, because I haven't, so I can't say yes, they're brilliant, because I've never made one.
Yeah, I think the chat continues on there for a little bit about the
Raging Bassist is in. Hello, Raging Bassist.
Northwest Modeler says, how do I achieve a black purple colour?
Ooh, interesting.
Interesting. Well, what are you actually trying to colour? What?
I'm trying to think. That's a real kind of Gundam colour. I like that.
No, I don't know if you could mix it.
You'd have to start with.
I'm just
you get one of questions that makes your brain actually do some work.
The thing I can think of is start with a black and then put some washes over it.
Then, because I'm thinking more get your purple base color, but mix the dark tones in, but don't necessarily mix a black. Try mixing in a very dark grey, just a tiny amount, and build it up slowly till you get the kind of color you want. But so I'm thinking of it in my head now, and I can see myself mixing the paint, and it just becomes dark grey. Yeah. The only other thing I can possibly think is, I don't know if anyone does like a clear purple paint.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe a wash or something.
Like you get your Tamiya clear colours. So you could mix Tamiya colours. You get red, blue, and green, and yellow Tamiya clears. You could mix your Tamiya clears to get the kind of purpley colour you want, which, going off my colour wheel of colours, is blue and red, I think. I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong in the chat.
Yeah, Ron Max says just mix black and purple.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but in my mind I'm thinking it would just come out really dark grey and you'd lose that purple.
I think maybe you're looking for like an iridescent type colour.
I mean, if anybody in the chat knows Halo, they'll know what like Covenant vehicles like ghosts were like. So imagine a really dark ghost.
I'll just disappear from the screen. I'll just thinking of a paint chart I might have over here.
The only other thing I could think of is to do it the other way around and to paint the vehicle the purple first. So get your highlights and your lowlights and all the different shades of purple. Then go over with a clear, I was going to say a clear black colour, like Ammo do a clear one called Clear. It might be called Clear Smoke, but it's not like Tamiya Smoke. It's basically a clear black colour, and go over that and build it up slowly so it gets darker and darker, but you can still, because it's a clear colour, you can still see the purple, and you can
Yeah.
stop when you're happy with the colour. That's got me stumped.
Yeah, I do have. I thought it was actually a paint chart, which I picked up at Telford, but unfortunately, it's not. It's a guy that was at Telford doing some demonstrations, and he had all sorts of. I don't know if you could see it on there. All sorts of colours and things like this one. This is an emerald type green. So it sets me off thinking that auto paints might be the way to go. Some of those.
Somebody did mention in the comments. Citadel Druky Violet is a purple wash. Yes, it is. It's a shade, so that would colour the whole thing. But it's not going to be. You could spray it, I suppose. I've never tried spraying a shade. You could build it up in really thin layers.
Yeah,
you say a Citadel shade.
Northwest Model has confirmed that he's looking for a flip paint. So yeah,
looking for what paint? Sorry,
flip paint. It's a paint that changes colour.
Oh.
Yeah, you probably know it from your detailing days. I would think it's down the auto route then.
Yes, in that case, you're looking at automotive paints. There's a colour that Mercedes make called Varicolor, Varicolor, and that is a specific Mercedes paint. And yeah, that's an auto paint, and it is really hard to spray. If you look at something like Varicolor in real life on cars, it's not just a paint you spray on. It's actually like layer after layer of different colors built up. And when you're doing things like, because we used to do spray work on cars, even just things like pearlescent colors on cars can be like 5 or 6 different layers. So if you're looking for something that's got that kind of like a TVR, the old TVRs where they used to have the funky paint, or that Varicolor, the Mercedes color, you might want to look that up then, because somebody might have listed a breakdown. You might be able to get analogs in the non-auto paint. I don't think you can just get a tin of Varicolor paint. It's different colors built up to get different reflective indexes.
I'm trying to think of that company that we saw. I just can't think of the name at the moment. They had a load of colors all on the bench, and it's just completely slipped my mind at the moment. But yeah, I think it's got to stump that one. But I think you're really going to look down the auto route. I'm trying to think if it comes to mind while we're still online. I'll let you know.
Yeah, Robert Greery says black primer with a Gaia clear purple on top. Smooth says we never heard of Gaia paints. I've heard of them. They're not common in the UK though. Smooth says you can't get them in the UK. Yeah, you can't. They're not really common. Gaia is another Japanese maker paint. I think they're lacquers. I think they've got like a stick man on the front. They're kind of like really basic design label, but they're really good paints. So yeah, it might be worth looking into the Gaia paint range. I don't think you'd have to go overseas to get them.
I'll just try. Right. Well,
yes, it is. Alex says yes. Gaia are lacquers. Yes. So if you're spraying lacquers, obviously, spray booth, respirator, windows open, sell the house. Make sure everybody's out for a week.
A peg on the nose and holding your breath doesn't work.
Yeah, because then you just get deaf, and that kind of sucks.
Right. Yeah, I did see some of the questions, but I can't get my chat to move.
Yeah, it's just moved about a mile now. That was a good question. Question: what size brush does Ted usually use to slap it on?
Slap it on.
Do it. You got to move it.
I've got it with me. Yeah, I think the wife's sweeping the floor with it. I haven't. Yeah, slap it on.
Do the gesture as well. Take on.
Slap it on. You've got to slap it on.
Yeah, excellent. I'm guessing you haven't watched the latest Eagle Build video yet.
I haven't yet. No, I just haven't.
Yeah, you're in it about 5 times.
Oh, right. I must have a look. I'll have a look tonight. I have been updating my YouTube channel as well, so any subscribers out there might notice some things popping up and pictures changing around and things like that. So,
good question from Smoo actually. Question: do you know if eModels have any future plans to stock Citadel paints, or is it only Games Workshop allowed to stock or sell them? I can say we don't normally answer about when will such and such be in stock because we don't work for eModels. But I have had conversations with them recently about a number of different things. And at the moment, they're waiting on expanding the premises so they can take on more stock lines. So stay tuned. There's lots of things that are in planned. Not that I know and not that I would say, but there's lots of plans going around that are waiting on expanding the premises to have more storage. So in terms of Citadel and Games Workshop stuff, anyone can stock them. But they have to, Games Workshop will only sell to people that have, certain types of stores. But there's no restrictions. Anyone can read it. As long as they've got a proper store, anyone can sell Games Workshop stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think basically eModels just struggle for space. They have that much stock at the moment.
Yeah, when me and Ted went, it was like chocker to the roof. They've got really big premises, but they're so chock full right now. They can't take on anything new just yet because they need to wait till they've expanded. So there's lots of plans in the works. So stay tuned to eModels Facebook page. And some exciting things coming up. I've actually badgered Pete about stocking Games Workshop and Citadel. Every time I mention it, he goes, "Oh." Because
we do feedback your requests and comments, things like that.
Yes.
We keep in touch, so he does get back.
So stay tuned is the question there, Smooth.
Stay tuned, right?
Stay moist is my thing right now. Ted, I'm sweating.
Oh, right. I can't work. I think there's a button not working on this laptop. Never mind.
Oh, no, you got a
question: what is the most useful modelling tool for easing cleft sweat while working at the warm bench? I think it involves alcohol and
outside.
Working outside.
The worst thing I've found with it being hot is, and this is gonna go really gross. So I apologise in advance. I don't know why, right? But since I stopped having a job of work and doing this for a living, doing my model making and stuff, and basically sitting at home all day. When I used to have a job of work, I used to go out to work and stuff. If it got hot, I got a bit sweaty, that was it. For some reason, working from home means that when you get hot and sweaty, you get really stinky as well. I don't know why. It's really weird. But the worst thing when you're sitting at the workbench and it's really hot is not being hot, because it doesn't lack your concentration. The worst thing is when you've got one of these on. I depend on my space helmet of seeing because my eyesight's terrible. When you got one of these on, and it just, that plastic bit there, it just, with the sweat and it's horrible. And then every now and then it'll just go, and you get a little drip of sweat, and you'll be like, I can't do that. And I've actually had it in the past where I've been actually airbrushing something and dripped sweat onto the model.
Oh yeah, that's horrible. Moving on. Smooth says, can you mix pastel chalks with a medium and make a clear purple? I wouldn't have thought so personally. I don't think it would give it the smoothness. Is that a new word? Word of the night.
Yeah. If you get yourself an artist medium like Vallejo's matte medium or Citadel's Lamian medium, I nearly gave it the name I normally call it, which I won't say out loud. There's a couple of manufacturers that do mediums, which are just basically they're really just paint without any colour in it, and you can mix touches of colours into those and make a clear colour. I actually show it on the latest Eagle build this week. I had to, at one point, I had to make a wash. I wanted to do a wash, but I didn't want it to be a pin wash. I wanted it to go into the recesses but stay on the surface as well, so tint it more than a wash would. So at one point I had to use some Citadel shades because there's nothing else, and then later on I had some some Vallejo matte medium, so I got some of that and put a little bit of brown in it. I think it was just a tiny amount, and it made basically a shade. It made a paint that was translucent, because a medium is just a colourless paint, and if you put a tiny bit in there, it just tints it, and then you've just made a clear paint basically. You can get gloss mediums and matte mediums. You can get, I say, Vallejo do one. I don't know if Ammo do one, or you can get artists mediums, but I can't speak to the veracity of those. Yeah, you can make washes and glazes and things that way.
Yeah, he says he's watched it and he was wondering if finely ground artist chalks would be a good pigment. You really need to. I don't know if you could physically ground them enough yourself.
No. I mean, if you're making your own little coloured things, it's nice and cheap to use artist chalks and stuff, but it's going to be. I mean, it depends what effect you want. If you wanted that kind of spotty, grainy effect, it'd probably be quite good. But I think if you just use it as normal, it would settle out, because if you're using a medium and an acrylic paint, the acrylic paint is designed to work with the binding agents and the other things in the acrylic matte medium or the gloss medium, whereas the chalk pastel will just, you may as well put it in water, it will just settle out. It won't really be affected by the stuff in the medium. So It might give you an interesting effect for weathering, but I don't know if it will give you a smooth effect for colouring or painting. Give it a try. Give it a try on the scrap.
Yeah, nothing lost.
Yeah.
Sorry, artists. Yeah, spandrels. A bit of feedback now for Scott Sutherland from Orkney.
Yes.
See,
You got it right, but you've gone out of focus. But you got it right.
Oh, I've got out of focus.
See, Odo's happy now. He said Orkney.
Scott says, thanks for the soldering advice. It's been a great help, so it must have worked. Hey, something worked.
Yay. I'm going to bring up Odo every time we speak to Scott now. Because
good. It'll be a long, hard struggle, Scott, but yeah, get there in the end and send us a picture of your results.
Yes. He wants to do heat staining effects. Okay. Heat staining effects. If you mean the classic kind of blue, purple, and brown, this is by no way the perfect method or the best method, but you can either, one way to do it is to, as I said before, get some matte medium or gloss medium, whichever, get some medium, a touch of either a nice bright blue or a nice purple or a brown, and you'll make a very thin paint, add some more water to it to make it into a glaze and build it up that way. Or you can airbrush it on to get a really subtle effect and do it. I can't remember the order now. It's blue, purple, brown, isn't it? I think blue, purple, brown. Or you can actually use artists' inks you get from your art shop. I've seen it done. It looks really well. The trick is airbrushing if you can. If not, make sure you're putting the paint on very, very thin, like with lots of water, almost like a glaze. Go and watch a few videos on like painting Warhammer stuff because they show how to do glazes and stuff. That's what I mean when I say glaze, the way they do it, they build up a colour and a shade, a fade with glazes. You could do it that way.
I think there are some YouTube videos out there are actually doing it, and I think already somebody's mentioned it in the chat. Alclad do an actual kit for it, so you can get everything you need to do it at one. I'm not sure if Viero or even MIG do one, but I'm sure a bit of searching online. I'm almost certain there's a couple of kits out there to do heat staining. I mean,
if you're doing something like a motorbike exhaust, because I know somebody likes his motorbikes. If you're doing something like a motorbike exhaust, then you can't beat doing it with an airbrush. And like I said, the best results I've seen have used artist's ink, but super thin down paint, really, really thin down paint, so it's almost like a clear paint would. Like your medium, a touch of colour, and then a bit of thinners, and airbrush that on, because you get that beautiful blend then from the blue, the purple, and the brown. And if you want the last one can be brown, or Tamiya Smoke is the good for the brown colour.
Yeah. Have a look at the oil paint range, True Metal ranges. Have a look at them as well, because they do blues and browns and reds and things. You could probably work with some of that as well.
What I would say with the heat stain, because I've never been I'll be honest now, I can't do heat staining for the life of me. I've tried it and I suck terribly at it. Go slowly and build it up real slowly, because there's nothing worse than going too far and now you've got like a rainbow that looks really bad. Start off so subtle you can almost not see it, and then just step away, come back the next day and say, do I want to do more? A little bit. Do it that way. Don't just go whoa in with this, however you decide to do it, because you'll come out with a Doctor Who scarf and it'll just look kind of weird. So go really slow and just build it up in a little bit and just leave it for a while, walk away from it and come back, and then after 24 hours have a look at it. Because I often find when I'm painting something, if I walk away and come back the next day, I'll look at it and go, good job I stopped, because if I go any further that'll look like ass. So go slowly with it and you should do fine. It's one of those techniques that can come out looking absolutely beautiful or terrible, and it's just knowing when to stop, and I can't do it. Mine just look terrible. So
yeah, I think Tony might have had a go at it. Did Tony have a go?
Yes, he did it on his Yamaha.
On his Yamaha. Yeah.
I can't remember how he did it now.
I can't remember. If only Tony was with us.
I think he that sounds very morbid. I think he airbrushed it. I think he used Tamiya Smoke and a blue of some sort. I think he airbrushed his. Oh, here you go. Beyond Hope said, Ron, paint your... Okay. No, I'm diving into half a conversation here.
Yeah, somebody asked a question about how to do camouflage, and there's been lots of advice offered in the chat.
That's the good thing, because the chat goes so fast that we miss most of it. Quite often the question's already been answered by the time we get to it.
Yeah. Ron Mack asked what was the best way to do camouflage, and as the chat's telling you, Yeah, just sort of masking off.
Yeah.
There's lots of different versions of camouflage out there.
That's kind of how long is a piece of string question. There's so many different ways of doing it, depending on the camouflage scheme and what you're trying to recreate.
Right, I do have another question that's come in.
Yes. Give it to me, Tedward. Give it to me. I'm just going to drink lots of water now because of sweat. The funny thing is, you can tell it's hot because I've drunk about 18 litres of water and I've been through a wee once today. That's how hot it is.
Right. Chris Williams, we'll come back to your second question in a moment, Chris. We've got a second question from you.
2 questions from Mr. Williams.
What
do you think this is? I don't know.
Tony Blackwell sent a question in he has a question for the eModels live stream. I bought various grades of wet and dry sandpaper. What's the advantage of using the paper wet as opposed to using it dry? Is there a difference? And when would you use one type over another? Right. Wet and dry sandpaper. There's a number. I'll take this one if you. Sorry, folks, jumping in there.
I was just reading the comments and I'm like, yeah, because you go for it.
Yeah,
I try to avoid sanding paper as much as possible, so I can't answer this really.
Yeah, there's quite a few grades of sandpaper, and it's used in different uses. First of all, when you call it sandpaper, it's not actually sandpaper. It's carborundum paper or emery paper, things like that. And there's 2 types. There's a material removing type, and there is a smoothing type. The wet and dry is usually used for polishing rather than removing material. I'm trying to think back to when I was in the engineering, when I was in the shipyard, and we did all this in the training school. Your fine grades of your emery paper are used for polishing, usually sort of using them first one way and then another, and eventually going into finer and finer grades until you polish. What you're actually doing, you're not removing material, you're polishing scratches out, and eventually the light reflects off the scratches until you get a shine. And the more higher grade, the harsher grade emery papers, that's when you get into sandpapers and things like that. Sandpaper is usually used on wood, or they call them sandpaper. It's glass paper and other things. They use a shifting material that takes it all off, gets the bits to what you want, and then you polish. So that's the advantage. And you use the water, or you can use oil. If you're polishing metal, you can actually use things like WD-40 or a light oil. It's to remove the residue from the emery paper, so it doesn't block up, and so you can obtain that shine. I think that's it in a nutshell, as far as I can remember from my engineering days. Does that answer some questions?
Yes.
I think I got there.
Yeah. So I was just taking the mickey out of in the chat there, Tim, but I do apologise.
Right. Right.
Yes, any other questions in the chat, do let us know. We've probably missed a load because the chat's been quite busy. So if you've got any other questions, pop them up. Everybody seems to be using question in big capital letters. So
yeah, it just seemed to work that.
Yeah,
Jamie Bourne sent us an email. He sent it today actually, so we just picked it up. He's currently building the Churchill 135th Churchill. He's building the Tamiya 135th Churchill tank. Hang on.
Here we go. He's going under the desk. Oh.
Yeah, I can't find it.
This is where like a sock puppet pops up or something.
It's gone. No, it hasn't. There it is.
Smooth says, I watch
Smooth
says, I watch Fox's eyes glaze over with fine polishing paint. He doesn't like shiny.
Right. His question is, he's building the 135th Churchill tank after Normandy, and was asking how much mud and dust would collect on the tank. A bit subjective, that one. Once again, how long is a bit of string? How long do you... I think... It was like done in the summer months, wasn't it? Normandy, such like that. So it wouldn't be too muddy and claggy.
There's always this big argument with tanks and armoured vehicles is, how much weathering is too much weathering. And I think part of it depends on the theatre of the combat. I mean, I'm no expert, but it seems reasonable to me that modern day armoured vehicles perhaps don't get as battered and rusty and horrible as, say, World War II vehicles may have done because of, better construction and components, but they're looked after more. I don't doubt that, like, maintenance crews and tank crews looked after their tanks in the field, but you're in the European theatre, a lot of rain, a lot of mud, a lot of gunk, and you may not be able to get to a maintenance area at any time for weeks and weeks and weeks. So I think it kind of depends on what your story behind the vehicle is. I don't think there's any real right or wrong. I think you can weather it to so it looks like it's about to fall apart, or it could be shot new. It's more about the story you make up for that model in your mind as to why it looks like it does. Why does it look brand new, or why does it look really battered? So I don't know. Because I love my weathering, but I always think it's entirely up to the story that I make up for the thing I'm weathering. So I'd say any answer is correct. There's no good or wrong. There's no right or wrong, I think. As long as you can make up a story for it and say it looks like this because nobody can argue with you.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was Mr. Loth said the Normandy landings was wet and mucky.
You nearly said something then. Yeah, and I
forget where I was for all. Yeah, so
landings, it's mud, it's rain, it's wet, it's the coast of France, it's going inland into the Normandy coast, it's all the hedgerows, it's the bocage, they're not getting any maintenance on those vehicle sweeps. Go and watch Band of Brothers.
Yeah, but then again, you're thinking everybody's moving forward. There's time to relax, bit of maintenance, wash the tanks down. I've seen pictures of tanks being washed in streams with buckets of water and brushes, so you can depict it how you want.
Yeah, I mean, Beyond Hope says tank crews say there was so much downtime between offences they were under instruction to keep the tanks in top form, especially the German forces, which is true. Which kind of gives you leeway then. Like I say, you could be making a model and it could be right in the middle of a battle, or it could have just come off from a battle. It's on its way back to HQ. So again, there's no right and wrong. Crews would have looked after the vehicles, because if they didn't, they'd be stuck in the middle of a battlefield with nowhere to go. But during combat and for the few weeks they were out doing stuff, they weren't going to get filthy. They weren't always going to be clean. So like I say, I think it's a case of weather it how you think looks good, and then you can tell the story about that vehicle, because the weathering tells the story of the vehicle. It tells you what it's done, where it's been, if it's seen action, how's it got that bullet hole, how's it got that dent in the side thing there. It's all about making a story up. It's entirely up to you. There's no right and wrong. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Somebody says, "Oh, that's too weathered," you just go,
but if you're putting mud on, you got to slap it on. Yes. We got one.
I've had to actually make sure that I'm not talking when you do that, so I can extract it out and use it everywhere.
Slap it on.
Yes.
So that's all. Any more questions from you in the
Smooth says modern armor tends to be less weathered than World War II. A sergeant kicking up the backside from modern armor means they aren't so weathered. Yeah, I mean, I think with modern armor, it's partially the materials are different. Obviously, more modern materials are less prone to rust and things like that. But also, there's a lot more downtime for vehicles in modern armies nowadays. It depends, obviously, not for every army, but like, say a British tank, it might be in the desert, or it might not be anywhere. So there's a lot more downtime for armored vehicles. We're not in the middle of a massive global war campaign. So, yeah, modern armor's kind of looked after a bit better nowadays.
Well, looks like we have after that conversation. Nate Bliss said he wants to build a tank now. Get out there and build a tank.
Tell you what, since those little egg tanks came out, I actually want to make a tank now. I want to make an egg Sherman. But,
think of all that mud. Think of all the mud and dust.
Yes. Robert Geary says, question, how do you make realistic bullet holes with realistic bullets? Depends on the scale, I think.
I haven't got my book here to show you. I've got a book that shows you how to make bullets.
You don't say so, Ted.
Not so much bullet holes, but shell ricochets like bouncing off tanks. You can use your little Dremel drill and sort of grind things away. Remember that we used to do it in the old days with you model aeroplane, he used to use a use the back of a hot pin.
Hot pin, yeah.
Holes in it. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think it's quite.
You could do.
Yeah, you can.
I think
you could start that way and then just build. I think the secret to doing bullet holes, shell ricochets, and that is actually the painting, rather than making the hole itself. Obviously, make the hole itself, but then you enhance the hole by doing the right sort of painting around it, the right weathering, like a scuff. You could see layers of paint as the shell bounces off, deflects off the casing. Like that. Yeah.
I mean, when I was younger, it was literally especially on 135th, it was a hot pin, like that. If I wanted to do like the only word I could think of is a pachang, like a pachang. The shell ricochets off, like you said. I get like a screwdriver and kind of smudge it, but I was like 18, so I didn't really know.
Yeah.
But you can use a Dremel, you can use a hot screwdriver, you can use a pin or something a bit thicker. You could drill a hole with your little pin vise, and then just work around the edge of it with the tip of your hobby knife just to gouge it out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd say have a look online for reference material, kind of bullet holes and things like that, and then plan to, if it's going straight through, you want a circular hole to start with, so a pin vise or a drill or something, and then sculpt it out with either a Dremel or a knife. If you're getting into more explosive damage, like Ted was saying, just have a look at reference photographs, and you can probably do a lot of it with the Dremel, but like Ted says, the trick is in the painting. Where do you put the bare metal? Where do you put the scorch effects? That's the trick.
You'll find a lot of armor, a lot of armor casualties. You'll actually find a clean hole going into the tank.
He actually says it's 135th tank transporter windows. So now we put bullet holes in clear parts. Oh, yeah.
It's a different technique.
Challenging.
I
haven't yet discovered a way. There's ways to do it, but I haven't yet come up with a way to put a hole in a clear part and then have that kind of spider web shattering effect. There are ways to do it, but I've not found a way that I can either do without messing it up or that doesn't look like terrible pap. So I don't know in that case. If it's in clear parts, Ted, over to you.
I think probably 10. Yeah, I'd do the ricochet, the bullet off the case, off the bodywork, and leave the window alone.
Yeah, leave the window alone.
Yeah, do it that way.
Yeah, always about the story you make up for the vehicle. Like I was saying before.
Yeah. What you could do, you could put the bullet that's deflected off the bonnet as such, deflected off the bonnet, and then all the paint chips have just flown against the window. So you can put little coloured chips on the window.
Yeah. We do have another question.
What?
Smooth says, I'm considering figure painting and got some stuff called parafilm for masking. Anyone used it or using it for masking or interested in how it works? It's a medical grade film.
All right.
Never heard of it.
No, I've not heard of it. I thought it was something that the model aircraft guys use, the flying aircraft. I thought that was parafilm, but I must have taken. No, I've not used it myself. Maybe if somebody in the chat has had experience of it, they could help with that one.
Yeah, Sergeant Bones says, have you all seen the King Tiger egg kit? Yes, the Meng Toon Tank. If you follow us in the Boom Hut, in the Model Makers Boom Hut, which is nothing to do with eModels, the egg build competition, we were contacted by, I've forgotten the name now, the company that makes the game, who are going to send us a couple of kits as prizes, and one of them is the King Tiger with the push turret, and one of them is the KV-2 Russian tank. So, yeah, if you're in the Boom Hut, if you're not working on your egg build, get your egg build sorted out. You've only got a week to go. There you go. Let's have a look. Any other questions? Bullet through plain glass will probably shatter the glass, so you're left with jagged edges in the frame. Rockovan, it's Studio Rockovan. James from Studio Rockovan. That's the game's developer. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think military vehicles and armoured glass and things like that. Maybe on a tank transporter, the props wouldn't have it armoured, but I'd have to do some research on that one.
Ant from Bashing Kits. Hello, Ant.
Hello, Ant.
Says, question, do either of you have experience of tinting clear parts? I tried it once using Pledge 2 times more shine and a tiny bit of food dye. And it actually worked, bizarrely. It was on a scrap piece. I was just testing it out. I had a bit of yellow food dye and some 2 times more shine, dipped the canopy like you normally do, and it came out yellow. It was like, yes!
Yeah. I was going to
Not
say...
tried it with paint. I tried airbrushing Tamiya smoke onto a window, and it just came out looking like gash because it's all lumpy bumpy. So try some of your pledge or your future with some food dye in it, bizarrely.
Paul Stewart said I did the MRAP windows. I actually sprayed them with... I think I actually sprayed them with Tamiya smoke, and it seemed to work for me that time.
Yeah, I mean, I found it can work really well if you do it really thin, but it can go a bit bobbly.
Yeah, that's a secret. Thin it, make it thin, and don't try and do it all in one go.
No, it's one of those Tamiya paints, like I was saying about the gunmetal, that's really, really thick like syrup. The Tamiya clear colours are easier to airbrush than the ammo clear colours, because the ammo clear colours are like jam. But I found unless you get the mix exactly right, it's easy to screw it up and you get a kind of frosted effect. So I've kind of steered away from airbrushing clear colours on. You could dip them, but I don't know how it would pull up. But Ant's familiar with the magic wash, so it's just really a bit of a magic wash, but you dip it. But try with some food colouring.
Yeah,
probably tastes nice. It wouldn't taste nice. Don't eat it. He says, been reading up, but dipping with clear risks pooling of the colour. Yeah, that's the only downside. Yeah, I did get a bit of that. But I know if you do the old thing of dip it in and then place it on the piece of tissue so it can wick at a corner so it can wick off any excess. But it's not. But if it does go wrong and you've used, say, 2 times more shine pledge clear, you can take it off with ammonia or glass cleaner with ammonia in it, so you can just remove it all and you've got a clean piece of plastic again. So if it goes wrong, you can just strip it off and start it.
Smoo says use Alclad 2 Aqua Gloss. That could be handy.
With something in it.
Cool. Yeah, and dip it. Yeah, dip it.
Yeah, Scaly Mike Mounty says he sprayed his ATV with clear blue and it was cack.
I must. Yeah, I'll research that one. I'll research that.
I've seen it done with food dyes in Pledge Future Clear, and I've done it and it did work. So, but I was just doing a test. I've never actually done it in anger on a real kit though. Guarantee if I did it on a real kit, it'd go, then there'd be colour in all the recesses and it'd go wrong. I'd be like, no, we can't strip that stuff off that easy.
Oh, good. Any more questions in the chat? If not, we'll do.
Should we do what's in store, Ted?
Yeah, we'll do Chris Williams' last question first.
Okay, what's his last question?
His last question is, do you have any idea how many parts there will be in a video series when we start them? Or do you plan far in advance or not at all?
Wait, what's this word, plan? What?
Yeah, usually no planning is involved.
No.
No planning was done in any part of this video.
I don't plan anything I ever do ever, so.
I sort of plan it. I can... the U-boat's easy because I can usually do one section per video. But I'll plan a video in as much, say I'm building a tank, for instance. I'll think, right, I'll do that, and up to that page in the video. And I like my videos usually to last about an hour. If I've gone over an hour, I've usually gone on too long. And I have done that before.
Surely not, Ted. Surely not.
Yeah, I do tend to waffle on. It's a matter of finding a balance between showing you something and keeping your interest. So it's a matter of I try to fit something that's interesting in within the video. So really, there's no planning, and it's just a matter of where there will be a natural break in the build. That's about it, really. But no, I don't know how many parts there will be in the video. We won't know that till the end.
I don't plan mine at all. I just crack on with the build basically, and I don't. The thing I've learned over the years when I'm doing a model build is not to plan anything, because if I start having plans, then something invariably goes wrong, and then I get demotivated and it all goes horribly wrong. So, or if I have a plan set out, I just get bored straight away. So I just kind of make it up as I go along. What I tend to do is film a segment. I'll be like, right, now I've got to glue this thing to here. I've got to do this. So I'll film that. And then I'll upload that to PC and put it into my video editing software and add it to the rest of the clips for that episode. And when it gets to about 50 to 60 minutes, I'll be like, right, the next thing I need to do my wrap up, and then that'll be an episode then. So I kind of judge the length of it as I go. Doesn't always work. The one the part 2 of the Eagle Build I put up, I thought would be about 25 minutes long because it was just brush painting the dudes. It was like an hour long. I'm like, wow. And that wasn't even lots of talky. I'm changing my style a bit every now and then. When I'm doing brush painting, I kind of find myself doing a Duncan. I can't help it. You kind of say, now we're going to paint this color. And then you just fade to the next bit because it just kind of, it's the only way to do brush painting. I can't sit and talk for 20 minutes while I'm brush painting because I'm going like this. It doesn't really work.
Right at the very start, when I did started doing videos, I used to try and work on a script, and within after the first video, I just threw the idea away because it just doesn't work.
Yeah, if you're looking at if anybody out there, because one thing I found is a lot of my followers, and I know your followers, Ted, people in the Beam Hut, have said they're interested in doing YouTube videos of model making and stuff, and I'm all for that. And I'll always take time out to help people give advice and stuff. I'm not perfect at it. I just cobble these things together. But the one thing I would say, if you're going to do a YouTube video of anything, do not script it. Don't have a script. Don't plan what you're going to say. Just unless you've got an auto cue in front of you, you can read from it really well. You should never have a script. The way I find best to do it is if I'm doing a video build, I talk as though the person I'm talking to is sitting next to me and I'm showing them how to do it. I pretend in my mind that my best mate is sat next to me and I'm showing you how to make a model. And then I can just have a bit of a laugh and a joke. And it's not always easy. It took a long time for me to start getting comfortable doing that. But I find, just imagine that you're just talking to someone sat next to you. Forget that there's a camera and forget that you're presenting, and don't have a plan. Don't script it. Because if you script it, you just sit there, and you just sit there and you're like, and now we are going to paint this thing with the brush, and it's just boring. Just talk. I mean, I know I talk a lot. I never shut up, but you can edit. If you go on for too long, you can edit it out. There will be lots of gaffes and mistakes, but just chat. Don't present. If you're doing a video, don't present. Not think about presenting. Just chat. Just.
Tony Black says you talk to Odo.
Yeah. From now on, I'm going to show Odo how to make all my models. So that's my audience now. When I'm talking to camera, I'm not talking to a camera. I'm talking to Odo, who doesn't actually care. He's like China. He doesn't care.
And now from Smoo, we have a really serious question that really needs an answer. He's enjoying your 1999 build. Any plans to light up the thrusters?
Actually, yes. There's no plans to light up the thrusters, but I can get out of doing that lighting by 2 reasons, very good reasons. First and foremost is I have no skill at doing lighting, and the lighting kit was made for me by, I wrote it down, Phil Davis sent me that lighting kit. I had to remind myself because I've got a few other names floating about. Phil Davis sent it to me and said, I've made you something. He sent it the lighting kit, so I'm like, brilliant, I can use that. I wasn't going to do lighting. But I have no skills at electricals and wiring and soldering, and I wouldn't know a resistor from a brick. However, even if I wanted to, I'm building a Season 1 Eagle, because we don't talk about Season 2 in this house. There is no Season 2. Season 2 doesn't exist. Season 1 Eagle. They didn't have lights in the thrusters. The only lights on the entire model were in the cockpit. So I don't need to think about that.
Right.
If you watch the episode, they never had lights in the engines. It was just in the cockpits. So it's kind of an easy way out for me because I'm doing the Season 1 Eagle. So.
Right. Okay. Well, we might let you off. We might let you off. Yeah. Right. I've got all the questions.
Yes. Should we do what's in store?
Should we do what's in store?
Yes. Right. Do you want to lock the screen on you first?
I'll lock it on me. We've got a bit of a different bag this evening. I'll just find the right page.
Papa got a brand new bag.
Yeah. Bit of a different. We've got a couple of kits.
I just did James Brown in the live stream. That's really weird.
Yeah,
Papa's got a brand new bag.
Right, I'll look it on me and I'll share the screen and we'll go and have a look at what's in store at eModels screen share. Press that and press that and go to there. Right. Woo, look at this. Tracked vehicles, but something different.
It's like a tank, but not.
It's like a tank, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
I thought I'd spotted this. I thought that's an excellent little one. It's 1/35 scale, so it's quite big.
Cool.
And it's something a little bit different. And you can apply all the weathering to it.
Good thing with things like that as well is if you're doing, say, a modern armor diorama, like, say, Israeli forces or American or British forces in Afghanistan or somewhere, they have those kind of vehicles. They kind of armor them up a bit, but they have those sort of vehicles on side. They have that kind of plant around for various bits and bobs, so you can build that into a modern armor diorama.
Yeah. It's just like that. If the British Army wanted a digger, they would just go out and buy a digger from JCB. Granted, this is a Hitachi one, but they just go out and buy. They wouldn't have one specially made. They just go and buy it and paint it green.
Of course, if I was doing that, I would paint eyes or a shark mouth on the grabby thing.
Yeah.
No, I would.
Fox plant hire. There's an idea. So that's that one. Just a little bit different. That was all. But staying on the tracked theme, a bit of armor this week. I slipped a little bit of armor in. But this is the TACOM 1/35th scale medium tank, the pattern, which is quite a nice tank, used in Vietnam and such like that. I think. Yeah, was it used towards the end of the war and then went on into Vietnam? I'm not quite sure.
I'm showing my lack of knowledge here, but
I'm not quite sure.
It wasn't a World War II vehicle. I think it was just after.
But
I'm probably completely wrong.
Quite a popular tank for the people out there. So so that's that one. And TACOM as well. And as we've seen from Tony's build, they go together brilliantly. So, and a cracking little kit.
Relating to the little digger, Ted, Paul Stewart says TK is a plant fitter, different kind of plant though.
Yeah. That's for moving some really big soil.
Yeah, big soils.
Big soils.
Vincent says Korea, Ted.
Korea, not Vietnam. Korea. That's sorry,
Even I knew that. I was just waiting for something else.
Sorry. Right. One for the kids. Usually try to find one for the kids. Airfix Quick Build McLaren in green. I said, if you've got to have a McLaren, it's got to be green.
Hey, you know what? I'll tell you, to give you a little secret about McLaren P1s. If anybody in the chat has never actually seen one up close and personal, their paint jobs are terrible. Trust me. I've detailed them. They have horrible paint jobs. It's horrible.
Yeah. Well, right. Anybody that wants to build a McLaren, then, even if it's not this one, they can do a terrible paint job on it and get away with it.
It'll be convincing because, trust me, McLarens have bad paint. Save for a couple, the volcano colours. They're not bad.
Right. We're moving on now. We'll do something a little bit different this week. We'll have a look at some tools. I know that Father's Day was yesterday for us in the UK. So if you've got any vouchers or a bit of extra cash and you want to, this is something, if you work away or if you're sort of visiting hotels and things like that with work, it's just a little something that you can put together, get a little quick build or something, and take it with you. Away you go.
Yeah. An interesting fact, by the way, when we visited, where did I see it? I watched a video the other day, and apparently, I may have said this in a previous live stream, but apparently Meng is actually pronounced Mung. Apparently, if you pronounce it correctly. But
Mung.
Yeah, but Meng. It's Meng. Let's just say Meng. It's apparently Mung. Or Mung. Yeah. Because it's Chinese.
Those little days away on your holidays or something like that, or working.
What do you get in it, Ted? What have we got in it?
Slide down a little bit. We've got some nice cutters, Mung cutters. They look nice. They look quite nice. Really.
They look like they look a bit like the other ones I can't remember the name of. Brilliant.
They look quite a nice little pair, though.
Yeah.
Fine tipped tweezers
for your tweezing needs.
Some little burr nub remover.
You're a nub remover.
Remove it, nub. A small craft knife. Quite intricate little thing that. And it looks like it comes with a selection of blades as well. So you can stab your
switch, doesn't it?
Yeah. Quite intricate.
Oh God, it's a knife. I'm already stabbed myself now, just looking at it.
And all comes together in a nice little kit. Be a nice little present for somebody, anybody that is starting out.
Yeah. A present for yourself, or it might be a good present for you from somebody else. Maybe if you drop it in.
Not a bad price, really.
$14.99 for all that. Yeah,
it's good. Yeah,
bit of all right, that.
So if you've got some pennies left, if you've got some pennies for Father's Day, away you go. Next one. Now, somebody was asking last week about upgrading their airbrush. And it sees Iwata do a maintenance set. Now, whether this is compatible with some of those Chinese ones, if you wanted to upgrade it, might be worth asking about that. But everything you need for fixing your airbrush is in there. So.
Tony Black's just said in chat, I use my side cutters to cut my toenails.
Yeah. It's Then
I
I
hope they're not God Hands or Gundam Planet Gundam Nippers or whatever, because they're like 40 quid. So, oh dear. What we got in this kit then, Ted? Before we go
so
again?
it comes with an air valve guide wrench. You can easily customize the main lever spring tension or replace the air valve. Iwata soft jaw pliers, so you can take bits on and off.
Your soft pliers.
Nice soft jaws. One of those fine screwdrivers, needle packing screwdrivers for needles. Easy remove, assemble and adjust the airbrush needle. And a nozzle wrench. It beats sort of trying to fix your airbrush with sort of the tools you've got to hand, a big pair of pliers and things like that.
Yeah, the actual head unit on my Neo is just scuffed and scraped from pliers taking the head unit off. Because it's like they give you a little thing to take the nozzle off, but no airbrush manufacturer really gives you a thing to take the actual head unit off. Not that you ever need to have to, but I think they would.
All comes together. A needle storage tube there for your spare needle. So now all comes together in a handy little zipper carton. So a little bit expensive, but you think if you're going to service your airbrush, how much would it cost to send it away, get it serviced?
Because if you're like me, your airbrush has a problem and you just panic and buy a new one, and then you regret it because it's like a lot of money. So yeah, it's probably a good idea. If I actually spent time fixing my airbrushes rather than just going, oh my god, I've broken my airbrush, I'll have to get a new one. Because I'm an idiot. But
once again, the professional airbrush maintenance tools. So we're going to have a look. I can't remember what I've put up now.
We can't use that, Ted, because it's professional. So
by coincidence, somebody was asking about when they're making bullet holes in tanks and things like that. I've got one of these. Not actually this one, but mine's a different colour, a different manufacturer. But I've got one of these. Dremel, I think, is what they common call them.
Yeah, I've got the one I've got is like a teeny tiny rotorcraft. Rotorcraft are actually quite good, but yeah, I've got little teeny tiny ones like that big.
They take all different sizes of drill in there. They're usually different size collets. You just select one that matches your. I'm actually using mine for the U-boat hull. Rather than hands drilling everything out, I've got my.
You're putting bullet holes all over it, Ted. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, you've got to be careful with these. When you're drilling plastic, don't have them going too fast.
Yes. Somebody's asked if that is adjustable speed on that rotor. I would guess it is. It looks like it's got a little speed thing, but I don't know. Have a quick look and see. Does it say in the blurb?
Trying to find out.
The little tiny one I've got isn't adjustable, but it's not so fast that it's going to melt your plastic. I've got a little tiny one.
It doesn't actually say adjustable speed. Might be worth looking into, or is that adjustable speed up there perhaps, or is that for holding the collet? I never thought to look for that. And it doesn't actually say it, so it may not be. So be careful, because as I was just about to say, if you try to drill your plastic at too high a speed, eventually after you drill a couple of holes, the drill gets hot. The drill bit gets hot and starts to melt its way through, rather than drilling its way through. So yeah, but they are a handy little item to have. Next one, steel shakers, steel balls.
Moving on.
Now I've seen lots of different prices for these. You can buy your Fayero air paints and things like that, and it doesn't come with a little shaker ball in it. But this for 150 for £2.50, I think is pretty good value. I know that you can use stainless steel nuts and things like that to put in them, but you've got to remember stainless steel has different grades. not all stainless steel is rust proof.
Mm.
So although you might buy a stainless steel nut from your local hardware store, it might be not a high grade, and you might find that it does go rusty on you.
Yeah.
But
These are actually specifically designed for putting in paint containers and doing the shaky, so can't really go wrong.
And you've got 250, and each time you come to the end of your paint bottle, you take them out and use them again.
Yeah, just don't drop them on the floor, because that'll just be ultimate sadness.
Yeah.
And then there'll be comedy when you disappear off across the hallway and down the stairs.
Yeah, but if you can get you, as Alex says that he uses military grade stainless steel. Yeah, if you can get stainless steel, all good. But if you can't, well, for £2.50, for 150 of them, that's going to cover a lot of paint.
Vincent said he just got a bag of mixed branded ones. He wish it came in a little can, because if that bag rips, he's done for. Bag ripped.
Yeah, yes, Laurel and Hardy type sketches.
Yeah, if you've got like a cat or a dog, it's going to be hilarious. But
right, next one. Right, a little photo etch bender. Our friend from Orkney is doing his.
Yeah, you got it right.
Twice in one live stream. I've got it right.
You're getting the Odo's happiness approval there.
I've got a little one of these, and it works a dream. This is a small size one. Oops, sorry, can't see it. This is a small size one. If you're just starting out, got a little bit of photo etch in your kits. Many kits are now coming with photo etch in them, just for a little bit of added extra detail. And one of these really will save a lot of pain.
Oh yeah.
So that's awesome. And finally, eModel stickers.
Bam, 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 bam. 1 whole pence.
eModel stickers, they are back in stock for the grand price of a penny.
1 whole pence.
When you flash your order into eModels, click on one of these as well, and they'll throw one in the basket for you.
If somebody pays like £1, does that mean he's basically cleared Pete's stash of stickers out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're £5 for all your stickers. Okay.
Sticker. Yeah. So that is a genuine, high quality, high printed, rare collectible sticker.
Yeah.
For the grand price.
So rare, we're going to be giving one away in a bit, but there you go.
I haven't got any. I would if I had some.
Smooth just says, "Oh my God, they're 1p. Just put an order in and forgot to get one." Don't.
Send them an email and they'll fire one in a bit.
Yeah.
Send them an email. Say you put an order in. Can you throw a sticker in as well? And I bet they will.
Yes.
Yeah. So there we go. eModel stickers are in store now. Go and get yourself one. Right. Stop sharing.
Right now, Ted. That's the boring stuff done. Now we've got an exciting thing.
About focus again.
Yeah, you're always out of focus.
I'm always out of focus. I can't see to focus it.
There you go.
There we go.
Right.
Are we going to do the exciting stuff?
Let's do the exciting thing where somebody...
I better go and screen share again. Hang on, you talk to them. I'll go find the pictures.
Oh, God. Hello, everybody. I've got to talk to you. What are you finding pictures of?
Right, I'm ready to go.
What are you doing now?
Are we going to... You tell us what the exciting thing is. And
the exciting thing relates to last week's episode.
Yep, I've got the right pictures. Right.
Okay. Do
the boat first.
Yeah. Now, if you remember last week, we had our giveaway, and well, we had 2 giveaways. We had 4 giveaways. I'll start again. We did a sticker and a mug, but we also did a couple of giveaways, kits giveaways. The first one we did was the little chibi ship that could. I think Ted's about to wave a picture of the screen.
That one? Can you see it?
Yeah. Nope.
Nope. Hang on, I'll go back to you. We can't see it. Reminding everyone, I've got to press that button there.
Are you still locked on me, or are you locked on me?
There we are. Yeah. So, the chibi ship.
Yes, we were giving the chibi ship away. Now, we did... that's me. That's not the ship.
That's gone.
You didn't lock it on me, did you?
No.
Yes, so we're giving the ship away. And we asked you to win the ship to put a comment in last week's episode below the video. Just saying, what was it? Thanks, Pete, mate. Oh, no, wow. What was it? Wow.
Wow, thanks, Pete, mate.
Wow, thanks, Pete, mate. And you could possibly win this little chibi battleship.
It actually worked quite well, didn't it?
It did. It actually worked brilliantly because we had like about 10 trillion comments. We used our little randomly pick a comment off the YouTube website, so it's completely impartial. And we're happy to announce that the winner of the little chibi battleship is, drumroll, Tedward,
is David Barker. Are you with us, David? I don't know. Hooray!
Are you with us, David? You've won yourself a funky little boat.
You won a little chibi battleship. So I don't know if you're with us tonight, David. I don't know if you're in the chat or if you're watching another time. But if rather than put it in the chat about where you need to send your address to, I put it on here.
Yes.
Can you see that? Is that? Yeah, can you see that?
I'll put it in the chat anyway.
Yeah. Put it in the chat anyway. But I know that if you're watching this later, you won't be able to see the chat.
Yes.
So it's ted@emodels.co.uk. So David Barker, if you're watching, send your name and address and postcode to that that email address.
That's in the chat. There you go.
Is he? David Barker.
ted@eModels. I'm just putting the address in now for you, David. .co.uk. So yes, there you go, David.
I entered the competition, but I didn't win it.
No, because you're rubbish, Ted. Yes, send Ted your name and address, your bank account number, your mother's maiden name, your social security. No, don't. Just send your name and address, and we'll get that. And we'll get that sent off to you, or rather, the guys at eModels will. Now,
should we do the next one, or should we keep them waiting?
Should we do the next one?
Let's give a mug away.
Okay, let's give a mug away.
Let's give a mug away.
Yeah, we've still got one more prize to come, which is
your chance of an eModels mug. This is a quick giveaway. This is fastest fingers. Fastest fingers.
This is fastest fingers, as we always say. It's the first.
And now I've got to think of a question.
We'll ask you a question. You type the answer in. It's the first answer that appears on our screens, not your screen, because it's the chat order is different for you guys. But we'll screen share it if we have to. Alex Kutal says 46 already. So okay, I'll ask a question.
Yeah, go on then.
In front of me, out of shot of the camera, there is a packet of crisps. What flavour is it?
Oh!
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Stroopwafel flavour, perhaps.
What flavour are the crisps in front of me? TK still says 42. Paul Stewart says Space Marine. Space Marine. Ant says bacon. And Nate Bliss says cheese and onion.
There you go.
Onion.
Nate Bliss. Well done, Nate Bliss.
Nate Bliss. Hang on. Are you screen sharing that? Or shall I screen share it? I'll let you keep on with the screen share. If you want.
The chat is moving so quick, I can't do it.
I'll screen share it.